Yeah, I mean, just go with my line.
You don't have to say the other part?
Just say what it is. Hey guys, it's 2:30. You know what time it is?
It's time for a Cowboy Kent Rollins video.
Hey, them was my good friends out there at the Fullerton Police Department out there in California. Great people they were. And they are reminding you and everybody else at 2:30 every Wednesday there is a Cowboy Kent Rollins cooking video, and we want you to subscribe. We don't want you to miss out. And whoo-wee, I got one of my favorite dishes that me and Shannon are going to whip up for you today. A twice baked potato. Is that what it is, Shannon? Twice baked?
Baked?
Yes, a baked potato. Stay with us because we are doing a giveaway, and ooh, you're going to like it. So, Big, do you like these? No. Big says it is his choice that you use 4 russet potatoes. They have been cleaned, washed, dried, manicured, shaven, and even their eyeballs flicked off. Russet is my pick for this game today because they hold up so well. I have used a red potato, but I prefer a russet over it. We got some bacon grease that we kept back after we fried the bacon, and ooh, it's going to help this. We're going to mix that with a little olive oil and rub it all over these taters. But first, like my mama said, what you going to do to them taters, Kent? Got to give them a little air and a little vent. So we're just going to come across here, give them a little room here. And guess what? Some of that bacon grease and that olive oil will actually find one of them little holes to get in. So it does help. Because we want to try to give this skin a little crispier bite crust to it effect. And I do like them that way. Some of that leftover bacon grease, I just want to layer up here. And folks, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. No sirree. Get this, and then guess what? The lid ain't come off the olive oil. Ready? So we got our bacon grease rubbed on this first participant. I'm going to give him just a little splash of olive oil. More bacon grease. Can't have too much. Sort of like the grilled cheese video last week. People say, you can't have too much cheese. Whew, that is slick. Slicker than owl snot. I'm telling you for sure. And a lot of you have been asking about this wooden salt and pepper shaker deal. Hey, the little link will be down there below where you can get one. A pre-warmed 12-inch shallow Dutch oven. So, before we wrap that first one, let's get him over here. We're going to give him a good coating of sea salt because I do love it. And here we go. It's like making burritos without the flour tortilla. Rolled up and ready to go goodness. Sealed and covered with love they are. And the reason I like to use this shallow 12 versus a deep 12, number one, as it tapers down there, you're going to lose some room at the bottom, but also you're going to be having that far from your taters, you're going to take more heat on top for a longer period of time. So let's go over here. We ain't going to use a trivet today because these are baked potatoes. We're going to set them right there on the coals so we can speed the process up. And very little wind today, so we won't have to do much rotation. So follow me. Well, we loaded her up around the bottom and around the top. No trivet, remember? But you didn't see me put coals directly underneath that. I don't want to do that because sometimes it'll burn when you start out like that. So we loaded her up top and bottom. We're going to rotate the lid and the bottom probably once unless the wind gets up here, and it happens in Oklahoma a lot. It does. But the most important factor is we have to rotate them potatoes. Not only change from side to side, but flip them over because that heat is there right against that Dutch oven. So about every 10 minutes, I would suggest you flip them. Don't do it barehanded unless you're really tougher than me. Just get you a glove, flip them over. Pretty close to that 10 minutes according to that there thing in the sky. So remember that trivet I brought? It comes in very handy because we ain't never going to set that lid on the bare ground. And if Shannon will come in here, I want you to hear that sound. That's taters sizzling in a piece of cast iron. So let's rotate them around because it is hot. And that's what we're after. 90% of the time, you will cook a baked potato in a Dutch oven quicker than you will in the house if you're using good hard wood to do it with. The biggest tip I got for you is to make sure that you rotate them taters, flip them over, roll them over. We did it several times, but just make sure you keep turning them taters. That way you know you get a pretty even cook. Done deal it is. Give them a little squish test so you'll know that they're soft all the way through. Now, this is going to be about 45 minutes to an hour in a Dutch oven, depending on your wood heat source and how big your taters are. I had to add a little bit of heat to this one as we went along, but let's get them over and finish up the process. Make sure they're cool enough to handle. Get you a knife. We're going to take them and slice them all the way through. Don't puncture the skin. We need it. Just roll that out of there. Get all you can out of it. You want to get most of that out of there, but you want to leave some because it's going to help that skin stay together. So leave you some of that meat in that tater there where it'll all stay a whole. Got them all in the bowl, we do. And I don't know what you're going to put in your baked potatoes. That's twice baked, but I know what we're going to put in.
You got a big old fly on your hand. There you go.
Is he off?
Yep.
In there, we like to put this dip in there. I prefer the green onion, but this works well too. You can see it, French onion dip of a cup of milk. And we'll talk about consistency here in a minute. You may have to add a little more than that. We don't be having the DeWalt, we don't today, so I'm gonna go with the Pull Start McCullough tater masher. There you got her going. And just make sure you get this to your consistency. We need a little more creaminess in there, we do. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more milk. Even just one more little dollop of this. Folks, that is about the consistency that I'm looking for. So to that goodness, we're going to add a half a cup of cheddar, which is about that much. About a half a cup of mozzarella. Now, I got me 6 of them tops of them green onions. Some people want to call them a shallot. Down here in Oklahoma, we call them green onion tops. That's what they are. We're just going to mix half of them in, save the rest. We're going to need them for a little bit later. So I got 6 thick slices of bacon cut up there and crunched in just right. I cooked them in my Stargazer skillet. Y'all got one? What? You ain't got one? Well, I think we can fix that up for you. They just launched their brand new 12-inch Stargazer cast iron skillet, and I think it'd be a really good time for a giveaway. I want you to get over there and look at their YouTube channel. Have you a little link there below for all the good stuff they're doing. But we want you to comment down here below on what would be the first thing that you would cook in your brand new Stargazer 12-inch skillet. We're going to do all this and give it away July 3rd. Be sure and comment about what you're going to cook in it. So let's get back to this. Mix all this up well, folks, because it needs to be blended really well to get all them flavors you're going to get in every bite. So let's load the boats, folks. And we're going to have to evenly distribute this between all these little tater skins. So we may have to go back and add a little to it. We saved some of them little green onion tops we did, and we're going to divide them here amongst all these fellers. I like to give these fellers a little pat so they don't fall out of the boat before we get them there. We're going to mix and mingle the rest of this cheese here amongst everybody. We're going to put these back in the very same oven. But folks, when you cook something in tin foil or anything like that when you're in a Dutch oven, sure, it was seasoned well, but that stuff is a little hard on cast, just reflecting that heat constantly over and over and over. So before we stick these fellers in there, we're going to give it just a little greasing of olive oil so everybody will feel better about the situation. The boats are full of participants and the ship has pulled up. So let's get ready to set this thing a sail. And I hope all the people have a place to park in here. Last one docked right in there just right. Now to that, folks, I am going to give it one more little sprinkling of pepper. So let's go back over here to our original heat that we had. Let's check it because this doesn't take a lot of bottom heat, it takes more top heat. And if we've got enough heat there to do it, we'll just leave that alone. So this is the same heat we had from when we took them off a while ago. Let's check it with a little hand check here. I would say that's probably a low to medium low heat, and that's what I'm looking for. So we're gonna set right back in the big middle of it. This here's got to have more heat. I'll even tell you what, I'm gonna do something just cause I like y'all. This here, I don't wanna waste it. Let's just put it here because we're gonna have to have some fresh heat on top. I have a circle of heat you seen me just dump out there because I am not precisely baking this throughout. We can just set right down on there because we want to heat that slowly from the bottom to come up. Most of our heavy heat is going to be right here on top, but it ain't going to cook if I don't quit talking and go get some of it. Know what I mean? I think I'm going to break into song, Shan. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Take it away, Jeremiah. Little rascal's hot. I'm gonna cut this. Look how all that cheese even melted down there in the bottom and come through. Ain't that a pretty picture? It is. Now remember this second baking that we done here on this deal, not bacon, hog bacon, baking like we're baking, because y'all always get me mixed up. It's just warming this all throughout and melting that cheese. Now, you really don't even have to have a plate. You can just pick them up and eat them. You don't got to wash no dishes. As the Beagle said once after he was chewing on a pork chop bone, bon appetit. He really liked it. But folks, I be liking me some digging tater dance. Throwing them taters. This stuff is good. It is easy. Now, the flavors you get when you bite into one of these will overload all your sensory buttons back there in the back of your head. There is so much creaminess. The cheese melts throughout in there where you get it, but you get that little subtle little goodness that the green onion brings to it. But when you can do a twice baked potato with all this in it, you rowing down the right river. Well, me and the Big and Shan, thank y'all so much for stopping by. We up here in a new camp. Y'all seen this place before, but have you seen it this green and this beautiful? Good Lord has blessed us with a lot of rain he has, and whew, I tip my hat and I say thank you to him, but also, as always, I tip it to all those servicemen and women and veterans who have fought and keep fighting to keep that old flag flying above this wagon. We never forget. We always pay tribute and honor to those. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. Ring the dingy-dong bell. Take it to your neighbors. What did Mr. Rogers say? We all need to be better neighbors, and we need more of them. So, see y'all down the loaded baked tater twice baked trail.
There's not much left.
The printable recipe and everything we use will be down there in the little description below, so don't. Starting over. Also, be getting a lot of. No, we ain't going.
Hey guys, it's 2:30. You guys know what time it is?
It's time for Cowboy Can't Rollins.
You screwed it up. You screwed it up.